Hey everyone, Emma here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing you all another video. Today's video is going to be a quick vinyl finds video, and I picked up these records in Kentucky. So quick backstory, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen the pictures from this trip, but quick backstory, over New Year's Eve weekend into ringing the new year, I took a road trip to Kentucky to visit Marichen over at Marichen's Music and a member of the youngest members of the VC, just to kind of ring in the new year, hang out with Marichen. I only see her once or twice a year, so it's always nice whenever I have like a long weekend to be able to go do that or have her come here. She came here last year and we went to Billy's store. So this year it was my turn to travel down to her and visit Kentucky, and that's exactly what we did. So that's why I'll insert pictures, I'm sure, here, but so I went to Kentucky, took a road trip down there, and she was asking me, we were coming up with things to do, and she was asking me if there was a place that I wanted to visit, and of course, without hesitation, I said Mellow Matt's. Mellow Matt's, I'd only been there once before. It was when we did the youngest members of the VC trip to Nashville a couple of years ago, and then we ended up going to Marichen's house and then going to Mellow Matt's for record store day, all within that same trip. So I'd only been there once before, but I really liked it. So of course, being in Kentucky, we had to go to Mellow Matt's. So Mellow Matt's, Bowling Green, Kentucky. If you are ever in the area, check it out. I am sporting also my new shirt that I picked up on this trip. So this isn't going to be a huge haul. I only picked up a couple records on this trip, but I did want to share them in this video. Before we get going with that, this was a cassette that I grabbed at Mellow Matt's. One of my goals this year in terms of my Cheap Trick collection is going to be filling out my Cheap Trick cassette collection. And so I saw this there. This is Cheap Trick's 1997 release. It actually has the song 8 Miles Low on here, which is of course where I got my channel name. So I saw that there, so I definitely wanted to pick this up for the collection. I also picked up Stevie Wonder Talking Book. Saw this sitting there, and this was an album that I've wanted to add to the collection for a while. 1972 Soul Funk. I realized, especially as I was going through kind of my collection at the end of last year, I realized that I didn't have as much soul and funk in my collection as I wanted. So I think that's going to be one of my goals for this year, is to add more to the collection. So what better way to kick that off than with Talking Book? Stevie Wonder, definitely a gap that needed to be filled. Of course, has the song on here, Superstition, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, and so on. So this is a very great album. I also picked up some Rush. This is Rush Signals from 1982. This is the reissue, remastered on 200-gram vinyl, audiophile vinyl, they call it here, direct metal mastering. And this album, so I've really been exploring Rush's discography over the last couple of years, and this is an album that I wanted to add to the collection for a while. 1982, this is very much a synth-heavy Rush album, as Rush is entering the 80s. But it's a great album. It's kind of tech-heavy as well. It has subdivisions on here, The Analog Kid, Digital Man, New World Man. Very interesting album from Rush, and an interesting kind of switch from moving pictures into this and into the 80s. So grabbed this when I saw it, got a pretty good deal on that. And then the last album that I picked up at Matt's, since we were in Kentucky and I was with Marichen, the Queen of Queen, I had to keep filling out my Queen collection. And so I grabbed this album that I did not have, Queen, News of the World. This is a reissue, 180-gram heavyweight black vinyl, half-speed mastered. Of course, 1977. 77 was a huge year. Cheap Trick's debut album came out. You had kind of the rise of this punk scene at the time, and so this is a heavier album for Queen, I would say, kind of entering into that hard rock genre and playing with that a little bit. So added this to the collection as well. So these are the pickups from Mellow Matt's, and then I got the t-shirt, and Alan threw in a couple of stickers, which shout out to Alan for that. And then we ended up going over to the mall that was in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and there was a store in there called Hard Copies. The bulk of that store was kind of new vinyl. They didn't really have any used vinyl, and like 90% of that store were band t-shirts, which was cool, but there wasn't a lot to choose from in terms of vinyl. But I did find a record that I've been trying to find out in the wild for a few months now. I didn't want to order it online. I was looking at a bunch of stores in my area. They never got it in, and so on. So I did find this there, so I did pick it up, and that is Space Force, the newest solo studio album from, of course, Todd Rundgren. But the main reason, I love Todd Rundgren. I don't collect all of his stuff, but I do enjoy Todd Rundgren, and the main reason why I picked this up is because Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick plays on this record. There's a song on side 2 called STFU, which is perfect for Rick. Classic. Anyway, with definitely an interesting song, interesting album in general. I streamed it, but I wouldn't have picked it up if it wasn't for Rick. So anything with that Rick Nielsen or Cheap Trick collection's a must grab, but super cool to find this out in the wild. And it does come on, I think there's a few different limited edition colored vinyl of this release, but this particular one was the red vinyl. I think there's like a yellow and a green and a blue that kind of match the cover of this album. But yeah, I saw this, and with that Cheap Trick connection, that was a no-brainer to me, so I picked this up. We also stopped at another record store in Bowling Green, I think we still were there, called Melodies and Memories. I didn't pick up anything there, but if you ever find yourself in the area, that's another store that you could go to as well. The last album that I want to show was gifted to me by Marichen on the last morning we were together. We went out to breakfast, and then she ended up giving me this record. And if you follow the youngest members of the VC and have seen the St. Louis documentary, you will get this reference. Smells like Zeppelin. But she gave me the Walmart exclusive of Led Zeppelin's In Through the Outdoor. This is the one, again, it's a Walmart exclusive. This comes with the collectible Backstage Pass replica on 180 gram vinyl, full in the rain, the evening. So this is definitely an awesome addition to the Zeppelin collection. So thank you, Marichen, for that. But with that, everybody, that is it for this video. Again, just kind of wanted to pop on here and share that experience because it relates to the vinyl community and friendship and music and all that fun stuff, and then show you some of the new records I've added to the collection. But that's all I have for this video. I hope that all of you are doing well, and I will see you all for my next video. Bye, guys.